I've spent the last 5 days 300 miles away, and while I was celebrating an old friend's wedding, my mind was on these trays. 40-degree nights, root-bound cells, and the nanny cam was the only thing keeping my gardening brain sane. Today, we find out if the potting up pivot worked, or if I'm back at square one. It's time to see what survived. I'm a little nervous. Okay, all right. They look pretty good. It's crazy how when we left it was 40 degrees and we come back 5 days later and it's 82. It is just bizarre. This is the craziest winter that we've had in a decade. And now we're having the most unpredictable spring that I have ever had. And this is becoming the most stressful season because of it. So I did use some deep trays on these. So I had an adequate reservoir and I could see the bottom of these pepper plants getting a little yellow, probably because they got too much water. I'm gonna rinse all of these out, make sure they get all freshened up before we get them in the ground. But overall, they're looking really good. Next are the tomatoes, and they honestly look the best. We've got some, white spots here and there, probably from some sunburn before we put them back inside. And then we've got the eggplant here too that has really grown a ton underneath those grow lights. I'm honestly really impressed. Ooh, this tomato plant here is got something going on. That doesn't look good at all. I've never seen that before. Well, that one's gonna have to go for sure. This tray still got a ton of water in it. Oh, but these squashes and cucumbers look amazing. They look really, really good. Pretty much all of them have sprouted. Almost all of them have their true leaves. Look at this blue Hubbard squash. Looks incredible. I am really impressed with that seed starting system by Vigo. They crushed it. For me to leave these plants for 5 days on their own and for me to come back with them looking like this is honestly really impressive. It shows that those lights can grow these plants through, true stages of their growth and development. And it's amazing to be able to have that system to rely on. This tray honestly looks the worst. These echinacea have not moved at all. The lavender doesn't look bad, but we do have some aphids on this rhubarb here, which I've honestly never really seen in my garden before. Maybe I'm going to have to grab some of those ladybugs that I saw in the garden and put them on these plants to see what happens. Just keep going up, Mr. Ladybug. Find those aphids. There we go. Find them. Yes. Oh yeah, look at that, look at that. Exactly what I wanted. This tray's got quite a bit of water still too. We've got some herbs in here. I planted some rosemary. Whoa, water. Planted some rosemary before we left. That cilantro smells so good. We've got chamomile, cilantro. These are all of our celery. Looks amazing. We've got some gnats here though. Hopefully they get out of here. Oh, we got some stevia that's finally coming up. Some eucalyptus and some parsley. This tray is not looking terrible, but this celery's got to get in the ground. The greens have definitely faded. They're starting to turn a little bit yellow. Yeah, and all those roots are popping out of here. These got to get planted. They got to get planted like right now. What's up, Zig? How you doing, buddy? You hold things down? Last but not least, though, we've got the marigolds and the zinnias, and they look really good. These are starting to pop out of their trays as well, but man, I'm really happy with how we're coming back to things, and it's going to be a really exciting time getting these plants in the ground. Now that the plants have been outside again for a few more days to basically re-harden them off, there is one more thing I need to check. before we plant. Well, the results are in. Soil temperature is looking like it's hanging out around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. More like 68, but good enough. It's time to plant. It's time for the 22 garden bed sprint, and we're finally installing the final pieces of the engine, the plants. It's time we start getting some real production from the garden. For our tomatoes, we are growing a Cusco variety underneath our beautiful cattle panel trellis this year. And I always like to plant my tomato plants as deep as I can, usually up to the first set of leaves, because roots will actually grow along the stem of the tomato plant. People mistakenly think that these little hairs will turn into roots. That's actually not the case. They'll just branch out from the stem itself. So I'm just gonna remove, a few of these lower leaves, probably just like that. And I wanna bury them deep, because if we can get them deeper into the soil, they're gonna have more access to nutrients, better access to water, since our roots aren't right near the surface layer where all that water is evaporating. And that means we're just gonna grow better plants. And I'm also going to be applying some mycorrhizae inoculant. So similar to what we have in our TriSynergi fertilizer, this inoculant is going to help establish those microbial connections with the soil even quicker. And mycorrhizae is actually what helps to make connections between the soil and the roots themselves to distribute all of those nutrients and water. So it's extremely important to get them on the roots right now to help these plants establish. I cannot tell you how exciting it is to finally get this first tender plant in the ground. Our peas are finally starting to come up, and those are really going to help to add some more nitrogen to the soil and help deliver those essential nutrients that these tomato plants need to establish and put on some really strong leafy growth before they get into that production stage. So I'm hoping that these peas continue to produce too, so we can get 2 crops out of this bed before we're even into the middle of the year. That's just more production for the scoreboard. Look how much these roots have grown in less than a week. It's honestly insane how fast these plants can start growing and producing. And look at the top of it too. This plant is looking super healthy. It's so exciting. It really is so exciting. On the other hand, we have some of these tomatoes that we split off from some other plants, and they're still kind of small and scrawny. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see if these produce just as well as these plants do. There you go, little one. Produce well for me. Yes, I kiss every single one of my plants. Don't question my success strategies. Oh, and it looks like we got some volunteer cosmos coming up, providing some more habitat for these ladybugs. Man, aphids are not going to be a problem at all for us this year. I just planted this plant, and you can already see it struggling from the heat. We gotta do something quick. I know it's really exciting and really tempting to just get all of the plants in the ground, to say, yes, all of my plants are in the ground. But if I just leave my tomato plant like that, it could die super quickly within a matter of days. So we do not want to miss the critical step of watering our plants. "120 hours ago, I thought I was going to lose it all. And today, the engine is fully primed. We planted tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, melons, lettuce, herbs, and flowers. The switch is flipped, and production has officially begun. But we aren't done yet. Now that the plants are in, we need to shift our focus to getting our other systems online, like rebuilding our flock and the off-grid rainwater capture system to make sure this engine never runs dry. Subscribe to follow our progress on the Backyard Food Project, and the chicks and I will see you next week.